Hi, everyone. This is Megan Fenyoe, and today on the 5-Minute Bark podcast, I am going to help you believe that you are enough by going through and identifying any mental blocks that you may have.
So you like what you hear today on the 5-Minute Bark podcast and you're considering being a guest. Guess what, everybody? We have several packages available. If you want to be on the 5-Minute Bark podcast, please contact us at the5minutebark.com. That's FIV minutebark.com. Okay, so we are back on the 5-Minute Bark podcast today, and we've got a lovely guest here from San Diego, California. And, well, are you feeling like not enough? Today, that's about to change. This guest, in the next 20 minutes, get ready because we're going to revitalize your confidence, your courage, and make you become enough. Yes, so many of us, and myself included, sometimes we just don't feel like enough. And we got some guests. We got a guest here today that's going to be giving us some great information on it. So I want to welcome everybody, Megan Fenyoe here on the 5-Minute Bark. And I got your name right.
Yes, you did. Good job.
And I was kind of sharing that before the podcast starts. That's the hardest part of the podcast is get people's name right. The rest is easy, like talking. Who can't talk, right? So Megan, say hello to everybody out there in the 5-Minute Bark.
Hey, everyone. I'm so excited to be on the show today.
Yeah. I put her to the ringer before the show started. We were working on all kinds of great things together, but we're here and we're ready. Our energy is good. And gosh, Megan, why did you choose to pick such a challenging subject to create a living on, helping people become enough?
It is kind of like the mantra of my life, to be honest with you. I am a mental health therapist, and also I'm a human being, right? So just because I'm a mental health therapist does not mean that I don't go through my own struggles. And one of the things that I have gone through my entire life, I grew up in a very, very difficult childhood. Also had a learning disability. People told me I was never going to go to college. More recently, I went through a horrible divorce, and literally over a course of so many years, I had to learn how to basically get up off the ground, right? I've had to learn how to get out of bed in the morning when when the world seems like it's falling around me. And when I don't have the confidence, there were so many times in my life where I had no courage. I literally would be on the ground crying. More recently when I was going through my divorce. And as a mental health therapist, I had to get out of bed. I had patients to see, even though I didn't want to. And I just wanted to stay in that moment of my feelings and my emotions. So there are a lot of things that I had done over the course of the last year and even, through my own journey of therapy and, building that confidence that literally got me to believe that I am enough.
So we talked about courage, and you said courage. You said you were on the ground, maybe even literally on the ground in tears, like, what's my purpose? How do I get up? How do I do this? I know this sounds kind of simple and plain, but explain more of like you had no courage.
I literally felt, and I usually talk more about my divorce because it was the most recent thing for me. I literally felt that I could not basically go on. I wanted my marriage to last, and it was not going to last. And he had an affair, and it was like devastating. And so I lost everything. I didn't have that courage to think that I could literally, influence other people's lives or have the courage to go out and do this life on my own.
Yeah. It's extremely challenging to go through divorce. Obviously, we all unfortunately know that. I've been through one. Many of my friends have, and you just, whether it's a divorce or anything, whether it's a financial burden or losing a job, I mean, you get in this small place. Literally like this small place where you just think that this one little section of life is where things exist. And until you work with somebody like yourself and understand that there's a world of other options out there, a world of people that are grateful for you, people that want to experience life with you. But we all want to be in that small place for some stupid reason. And what's some of the first things you did to get out of that small space?
It was my mindset. So I have to agree with what you say, is that we all like to be in that negative space. I have no idea why we like to do that. I think it's because it feels more comfortable. Because if you think about how many times a day, if you really paid attention to how many times a day we say something negative to ourselves, and then you try to think about how many times a day you say something positive, there's just no comparison. It's always negative. So we're so used to being in that negative space. That's what feels comfortable to us. And so what worked for me was learning what those positive statements were about myself. That I started years and years ago. Now, it's not something that just came very easily. I had to really work at finding those statements and repeating them to myself. The other thing is motivational videos. I'm telling you what, those suckers, there's one that I absolutely love that literally got me out of my bed for, I think, 2 months straight when I was going through my divorce.
Yeah, I'm a big motivational fan, as you know. I'm an inspirational speaker on many occasions, but there's some people that, you can see, I can't show you right now, but I have layers and layers of words, videos, stuff. Sometimes you almost get kind of like burnt out on it. How do you kind of help people adapt to this? I kind of was trying to mix this question with something I was thinking about before, but how do you get people to understand that these do work? Because everybody's like, well, yeah, I can sit here and say pretty happy things and smile on my face all day long, but they don't buy into it. You know what I mean? How do you get people to buy into it?
And that's a great question. And it doesn't just have to be affirmations or motivational videos. There's tons of what I call grounding skills out there. And part of working with someone is figuring out what are all those different skills and what works best for you, because there's not going to be one skill that works the same for everyone. And so that's the thing is, how they say practice makes perfect, right? So you're going to find some skills. It could be, the quotes, or it could be, meditation or something like that. And so when you work with someone one-on-one like that, they're going to give you all these different things to try out. And you're going to say, yep, that one worked. Nope, that one did not work. And I don't want to touch that one again. So, but it's just that repetition, right? Practice makes perfect. Right. So, and there's so many different things out there to do to get you out of that negative mind space.
So really, essentially, your job is people aren't enough, but they have to understand to start outweighing positive thoughts from negative thoughts, create more positive thoughts than negative thoughts. So they take this, they can do this through different things. And I understand, I understand the whole process because I do it 1,000 times because I've had 4 or 5 businesses and I've had a divorce and all that. So I can go on forever about, trying to bring myself out of that hole. Mm-hmm. But I really like how you especially are helping people with that middle gap in between. Okay, we know there's motivational tapes out there. We know there's the happy-go world, but the connection, like getting the wire, plug it into that person and charging them and helping them understand that even the smallest little increment of growth is a massive change, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Definitely. And that's where the one-on-one comes in, right? Because that's the most important. Yeah, you can go and watch my favorite motivational video, but hey, it might not work for you. And so if you're going to be spending the time trying to really change your life, you want to make sure that you're using skills and tools that really, really work for you. And sometimes you need help with that. I know I did. I know I still do sometimes, because there's just so many different things out there. And then also maintaining that. So just because you find these tools, right, doesn't mean that, life is going to be fantastic, sunshine and rainbows. Life happens. And those tools are going to have to come back into play. And so it's kind of like what I call like the maintenance phase. Like, how does that look? And how are you going to use those skills when you figure out, oh wait, I'm back in that phase again where I'm feeling stuck.
Audience, we're listening here today, and if we all kind of reflect on, let's say, just Hollywood, just to start, or sports, people that are our role models, who are so amazing, so good looking, and they know what to dress in, they know what to say, and they know how to schmooze this and that. You realize that they have hard crashes. Many of them have hard crashes, because in a lot of cases, the ones that have coaches continue on, both emotionally and financially. The ones that think that they're above it all and don't need coaching fall away. Drugs, killing themselves, suicide. So it doesn't matter what level you're on. It's just when you jump on the ship. It's a new world we have to invite ourselves into, that now we understand that the model of practice, perfecting things that we do, whether it's our own emotions, our own sport, our own finances, it's all done through practice, right? And if the sooner you adapt, the easier it is for you to become enough. And when you become enough, when you're in that power, when you have clients that have revitalized them and come into their power, what's that look like?
Oh my goodness. It is something that's indescribable. It is, as a coach, and even when I came into my own personal believing that I am enough, it changes your life. It gives you such a sense of, oh my goodness, like I can do whatever I put my mind to. I can own my own business. I can travel here. I can do this. I can do that. And sorry, sometimes it's difficult because it's hard to put into words. And I actually have it tattooed on my shoulder. I didn't know if you were going to bring that up or not, but I got it tattooed because it's my reminder of where my life was and where it is now. And it reminds me that I can achieve anything. And I've seen that with so many of my clients that I've worked with, where it might not be the I am enough piece. It might not be that statement, but it's some statement, where they really believe that they can have the life that they have dreamed. And I've seen people move through that and really achieve the goals they have set for themselves.
Yeah. It's funny you have the tattoo that's not enough as a reminder. This weekend on Sunday, I was watching the Patriots game at a local bar here in San Diego called Kettner Exchange. It was really fun, and it was just a beautiful day. And I was just sitting next to two young gals, and we were talking for a while. And one of them shared that she had a tattoo on her arm. It was like a Roman numeral 3. And she's like, I put this here so I would never forget my brother. He passed away at 16 years old. And, but these affirmations, these tattoos, these ways we can remind ourselves that we can be enough, we can be revitalized, find confidence. I'm telling you right now, you guys, I've interviewed over 200 people. I've been a professional athlete, traveled the world. I've built businesses, and so many times I need to still find my self-confidence. So thank God I have all these guests that I get to talk to that essentially coach me or share with me these great things. Mm-hmm. It's just really amazing that we take action like tattoos or affirmations or videos to kind of get that up. And if you're looking for that great big creative amazing fix in one side, it's just not going to work, everybody. It takes very minute incremental upticks to get going forward. And if we didn't have the crashes, we would not be human beings, because it wouldn't allow us to appreciate what we had in the first place. So the crashes are going to be there. They're going to come, but it's how you recover from them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right. Exactly right. Because you can choose to stay in that moment. You can choose to stay in that feeling of being stuck, or you can choose to get yourself out. And the only person that can get you out is yourself. But sometimes you need that extra encouragement. You need that person there to help you do that. And that is completely okay. Like you said, Dennis, you've done that. I've done that. And it's really allowed me, and from what you're saying, allowed you to get to the point in your life. And that's what this is all about.
Yeah, it is. It's totally all about that. So Howard, when's the first time you experienced literally, and I'd love for you to get 3D on this if possible and really share it, not just surface, if you don't mind.
No.
But when did you first find yourself at the bottom and the incremental change a second later?
You want just one example?
Yeah, one example is fine. We could record all day long if you want.
I know, because I have plenty, believe me. No, I think, at the bottom, I just remember there's one specific.
So how about the one that made you start to do this as a business?
Oh, goodness. Because I've been a therapist for 15 years.
Okay.
So I would say for my health and wellness business was going through my divorce. So that was 1.5 years ago. And I remember on the floor, I was crying, and I'll never forget, because I was kind of having this fight with my higher power and, God, and saying, I swear my neighbors probably would have thought that I was having an argument, because I was like crying out loud and I was yelling and I was angry. And I'm like, what do you want me to do with this? Like, I had moved to LA because, we had gotten separated, and I'm like, what do you want me to do with this? I don't know what you want me to do. And that was the lowest of the low. And from there, I just started using the things that I have learned, right? And going back to realizing that, like, I have so much more to offer, like that I was a good person and I had so much to offer this world, and that I can, wanted to continue to bless people and whatever that was that I could do, because that's what made me feel better, was helping others. And so that was the point where I said, no, you are not here to sit in this pain. You can work through this pain, but you're on this earth to help others. And that's what makes you feel good. And as I started doing this, I got more confidence in, I'm going to open my own business, and I have a health business, and then I have my Mission Strength business. And honestly, I haven't looked back. It's been such an incredible journey.
So when did you put pen to paper? The first thing to start the business, pen to paper, first thing.
When was that?
Yeah.
January, a year ago.
But the moment, like, what did you do?
The moment I did that,
I like moments.
I know, right? I'm like, what was that? Like a moment. I think it was signing my lease for my private practice when I had my private practice. And then my private practice switched into Mission Strength. But it was signing that lease and saying, okay, I'm opening my own business.
So you just walked down to the lease station, found a place, and just signed it up?
Yes.
Awesome. That is awesome.
That was the moment.
That's awesome. So if people are looking to hire you or be associated with people like yourself, what can they expect in the, say, onboarding process?
So the onboarding process is basically just getting to know one another and building that trusting relationship, that rapport, because we're going to be going into some deep stuff. One of the things that we talk about is what I entitle a deep dive. We're going to go into some deep things, and, I want you to be able to trust me that I'm going to bring you through this, but also help you, bring you through on the top. So that's the beginning process. And we do a call and just get to know each other a little bit more. And I have questions to ask you about, where you might feeling stuck, and kind of identifying what you want in your life. And so that's kind of like the first process.
Okay. And what are some of the experiences people have when they're doing this onboarding, like the clients themselves? So how do they react? How do they feel?
Well,
are they skeptical? Are they guarded?
I think most of them are guarded at first because they don't know what to expect. And here they are, me, and I'm the type of coach that does a lot of self-disclosure. So it helps them realize that, hey, I am a human being too, and I've been through my own stuff. But there's been so many aha moments, even in that first, what I call first step, the deep dive step, where people are like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe it. Like, that's what's really been holding me back. And all I needed to do was talk about it. And so although there's some people being guarded, there's also so many aha moments. And then people are super excited just to keep going through the program.
Gotcha. That's awesome. Okay. So one more good question. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay. What's a takeaway that somebody can take from today, or a couple, that they can do right now if they're literally listening today and they're kind of in that hole, they're feeling small, which is likely to happen because they're listening to podcasts like this and they're just kind of looking for something to pull them up. I mean, it's like right now they're driving in that car right now. They're in that moment. What can they do right now to shift?
Well, definitely, if you go to my website, I have a lot of good self-care and motivational tools that are on there that you can look at. Also, you can book a call with me. I do a 30-minute call, it's what I call a discovery call, I can learn about you and you can kind of talk about maybe what you're struggling with and to see if this is something that you really want to go through, if you really want to do this deep dive work, and we can kind of get to know each other. And it's 30 minutes, no obligation, and you may get a lot of answers just by this call and wanting to go forward.
Okay. So you heard her. You guys, she's offering a free call to you, 30 minutes of her time. If you're in that situation and you're feeling down and feeling like you're not enough, a lot of us experience that on occasions. We're gonna revitalize that. We're gonna give you these tools. She's got free tools, or you can actually just personally call her. And if you want, we'll share the number in the notes if we want to do that. And you can literally call her right now. You can go to the notes and give her a shout. And today on the podcast, I hope you understand that this is powerful, everybody, that coaches are here for a reason. They don't just do this for the fun of it. They're here because they need them. I need them. Celebrities need them. And you'll look, if you do studies on the people that have successful coaches have more success. You're just taking success to another level. You're taking enough to another level. You're taking confidence to another level. You're taking courage to another level. And I'm so thankful to have you on the show here today, Megan. And any last words you want to share with anybody out there before we...
I think that you just said it all right there, is just gaining that confidence and courage is what I like to say, entering the cave we fear the most. So what are we fearful of? And you need a coach to help you get through that sometimes. And it's then going through that process and really owning your life and believing you are enough.
Right. So the website is missionstrengthsd.com. Is that correct?
Yes.
Missionstrengthsd.com. You can get a hold of Megan at missionstrengthsd.com. Feel free to reach out to everybody. Amazing person.
Thank you.
Great heart. And I've spent now a couple hours with her here. And we've had a lot of fun. I'm ready for lunch. It's lunchtime.
Yeah,
Yes,
it is.
It's lunchtime. Everybody, thank you so much. And Megan, thank you so much for coming on the show here today and sharing your gift to the world on the 5 Minute Bark podcast.
Thank you so much, Dennis. I appreciate you.
And listeners, thank you again for listening today. This is amazing to have you listening from around the world, 150 countries that is. And again, if you want to get this information, it's in the notes and you can have it all. Take action each and every day. Bye, everybody. So you like what you hear today on the 5 Minute Bark podcast and you're considering being a guest. Guess what, everybody? We have several packages available. If you want to be on the 5 Minute Bark podcast, please contact us at the5minutebark.com. That's FIV minutebark.com.